Here real soon. This is one where you can find out maybe like how to do those fiery burnouts we used to do in the drag racing. Yeah, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Catch it. It's an all-new episode here on Speed. Well, we didn't get a chance to show you let's show you the Lites Heat 1 highlights, the way they unfolded. 30-second board went away. We got to racing here in heat number 1. Wilson, Baggett, Malcolm Stewart, all in this one.
And this was the first chance where we're going to get to see how this Ricky Carmichael designed track would actually race, and it was Malcolm Stewart, the 139 that comes out firing.
Grabbing the lead early. You can see Blake Baggett working the inside there. Malcolm Stewart's going to go for the pass and slides her down.
Down to the ground just like Big Brother.
Laid down some water on the track here. Yes. The track was all new and fresh, a little bit wet. On deck goes down hard right here too.
Big time, takes a couple other guys with him. Really don't know what happened there. Actually just, dipped his front end and the rest was history. Not how you want to start your night.
No, but they both got up and walked away from that one, which was the good thing. Now we watch the 330 Catanzaro. He really had a good run. It's one of the best runs we've seen out of Catanzaro this year.
Definitely, and he found a flow and was just working the track. Track was in pretty good shape right now. It's all new. Right. This was the first heat of the night, but this track would change dramatically.
We've seen a lot of new faces running up front as opposed to other weekends, so it's going to make up and shape up for a great main event.
Those two Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders went at it. Wilson and Baggett, they both led. Baggett ended up getting the win.
Really impressed with Baggett this weekend. He had a great weekend last weekend to finally get the win, and that was for the transfer spot there, I believe.
And it would go to the 130. We'd get that final spot. Keelan would get the final transfer spot out of this one. Kyle would go straight to the main event. Then we went on to heat number 2, and Justin Barcia, sporting that cool retro gear, jumped out front on the number 17. The Geico Honda was the early leader.
And Justin Barcia, remember, is riding with a broken wrist. He's got 2 of the small bones in his wrist broke. He's got a new brace, and it seemed to work out because he was fast.
Yeah, I think he looks better this weekend than he did last weekend, and he was injured last weekend as well. So he's going to be tough to handle in that main event.
You saw Sipes and Wharton all up in there as well. Nico Izzi, but boy, Barcia just got out front and pretty much checked out from these guys.
He owned it for sure. This was his heat race, bar none. You see all these guys taking different lines.
Oh! Samara Baggett going on back there with Anderson and the 804.
That was deep at the end of the pack as they were fighting over that final transfer spot. Barcia would have no problems getting the win in this one as they would wrap up the 2 heat races for the Lites tonight. So as we get moving through this and head towards the main events, what did you guys think out of the Lites? Barcia looks very good, and the 2 Pro Circuit riders look very good.
Yeah, I thought it was great 2 heat races. I'm really impressed with Barcia tonight and how good he's riding, being injured. This track is not easy to ride it's not easy to ride when you're 100%, much less have broken bones.
So how does he do that, Jeff? He's going to have to go, what, 15 laps here in the main event, which is going to be really tough on this brutal track.
Yeah, and the track here tonight for the Lites guys, when it gets all chewed up and it's deteriorated, it's easily going to be 30 seconds a lap longer than a normal Supercross track that we see inside of the stadium. So now Barcia's wrist, he rode with it, broke last week. It was about 12 to 15 minutes. Now it's going to be much longer than that, so we're going to just see how that wrist holds up. The Pro Circuit boys are hot. I mean, there's a lot of competition, but they're going to have to dig deep if they want to win Daytona.
Well, Supercross might be coming near you as well. Let's show you our upcoming schedule. We're going off to Indianapolis, Indiana next week, and you can see that one live right here on Speed. Then we're headed right back to Florida. We'll be up in Jacksonville before we go across the border up to Toronto, Canada. And then we'll be heading down to that beautiful new stadium in Dallas. Make sure you go to supercrossonline.com, get your tickets, and join us out at the track or catch all the racing here on Speed or on CBS from Dallas. Of course, all the Lites races will be seen on Speed. Well, we told you about the problem.
What?
Welcome back to Daytona, the Daytona Supercross by Honda. Probably the most unique round.
Oh, no doubt, and it's got the history. I mean, it's a legendary place. Ricky, you won here. I got a win here in '97. I got my name inside of the Hall of Fame. Sorry, Goose. We have our names inside of the Hall of Fame here. It's a pretty special deal.
It is very.
Ricky, you've raced here on 2 wheels and 4 wheels, and we say it all the time, no matter what you race here, winning at Daytona in anything, on anything, is what everybody wants.
You can't win the title, and there's one race you want to win. This is it right here. To be a Daytona champion in any form of racing, as you said, is just it's just special. This place is so rich in racing history, you know, in all forms of it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Special.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This 15 here of Dean Wilson.
Yeah.
He could benefit from a win here tonight. And look how far to the rider's right. Baggett at first pick, he lined up on the inside. Barcia at the next pick, he lined up to the next inside.
That's a lot of real estate to give up. But you know what? The outside isn't too bad here. This is a very open first turn to be a 90-degree first turn. Sometimes they kind of wreak havoc, but it's good.
Speed Weeks is over. Sports cars are gone. Stock cars are gone. Bike Week is getting underway here tonight at Daytona, and we're going to hand out the first big trophy of a very busy week of 2-wheel racing. Supercross Lites East main event ready to go from Daytona. A couple of riders down in the back. That's Baggett up front. Sipes is right there, and then it's the 2 Geico. Oh, that was Kevin Zarl that went down on the 330 after having such a good heat race early. The 2 Geico bikes of Wharton and Barcia up there, and here comes Sipes splitting them on that blue 25.
Here we go, a battle of the heat winners.
Baggett and Barcia. Barcia trying to cut back on that number 17. It's Kawasaki in green versus Honda in red.
And look how much excitement, energy these riders have came out for. Do they know that this race is going to be upwards of 5 minutes longer than your typical stadium Supercross?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Blake Baggett could win this thing, get his first Supercross Lites win. I mean, that guy, he had an awesome ride in Atlanta. Look how, an awesome heat race. Look how good he is riding. I mean, picture perfect.
And where is Dean Wilson? Tied for the points lead with the 17.
Wow.
Justin Barcia.
There he goes.
Wilson, first lap, he's running back at about 9th.
Here's his mogul section. These guys are just all over the place. Here you can see Baggett on the outside, Barcia on the inside, Sipes following him.
It's going to be interesting to see how that wrist of Barcia's hangs in there during this lengthy race. 15 laps, same amount of laps. It's just the distance and the time it takes to complete the laps, Jeff. That's so much longer than normal.
Yeah, and speaking of laps, we're going to see him next time around the start-finish line. And there's Wilson. We're going to get a lap time to see where it's at. And I guarantee by the end of this race, those lap times are going to be way,
Wilson is down again. He was in 11th, now he's in 13th. If he doesn't get going, he might be in 14th.
That puts him in front of the 93, which was Clements. 14th.
Here's how he's been going so far. It's been a tough run here for Dean.
Ricky, take this one.
You can see he's coming by the mechanics. He goes on the inside. Oh my!
That's like
goodness.
Kennard, only he didn't ride it out.
Now look at.
And we've seen 3 or 4 riders tonight in both classes have big endos there on that little double.
Yeah.
Easy little double, but for some reason the face of that thing is
Wow, I mean,
treating
that took my breath away watching that. I mean, it just, you never want to see that. That is the worst way to go down on a motorcycle, you know, over the handlebars like that. But here is where the battle is right here. We got a 3-way battle.
Baggett on the 57 in green. Barcia in white and red on the red Honda number 17. And then Sipes behind him on that blue Yamaha. 1, 2, and 3.
couple of second-year riders with Baggett and Barcia, and the veteran Sipes, who's never won a Lites main event.
Oh, man.
He's got plenty of them under his belt.
That Baggett a winner a year ago. That new stadium down in Dallas that we'll be visiting here in a couple of weeks.
Look at that rut, Ricky. Oh, my Lord. It's practically cutting through the jump.
Yeah, it starts on the inside, an inside rut there. It goes over that single jump and leading off to the second part of that rhythm section. Look at this, going through the pit signals and probably giving their lap times, and they don't really need to tell them how far Baggett's mechanic don't need to tell him how far Barcia's behind him. He can hear him.
He's
right on his radio.
The wild child right here. and that's two totally different styles. Baggett has a small stature and he rides very precise, mistake-free type of laps. If he doesn't have the pace, he doesn't push it. Barcia, on the other hand, will always have the speed, but it may not be pretty and it may not be smooth.
Hey, whatever,
he's exciting.
That's right. Whatever it takes to get to that finish line in first place.
Yeah, and it's kind of their haircuts. Baggett's got a clean cut and Barcia's got this long wavy hair. It's
Barcia is just all over the place and just putting on a spectacular run here, holding on in second place, whipping it over that big finish line jump, trying to get his second main event win of the year. Baggett going for his first win of 2011. It would be Sykes' first win as well.
Well, see, Barcia switched it up that lap, stayed out of that big, deep canyon of a rut they have going. But see right here, this is, Ricky and I were talking before this main event started about Baggett, about what he would need to do to win this main event. Felt that, hey, this is kind of one of those nights, Ricky, where you just go wire to wire in the heat race, you got the flow, and if you can go wire to wire in the main, and so far so good. He's executed the start, 4 laps down at 15.
I mean, he is executing this weekend so far perfectly. He had a great run last week in Atlanta. Probably gave him a lot of confidence. Just wasn't in the right, wasn't in the position he wanted to be. But now he is, and it's time for him to seal this up, which he can do. Nico Izzi, maybe?
Yeah, looking to see some of the other riders here. That's Lemoyne on the 48. Here comes Malcolm Stewart right there on the 139. And PJ Larson is right there, the 927. Now Larson and Stewart are running 6th and 7th with Lemoyne holding down 5th place just in front of them.
I tell you what, Malcolm Stewart has really impressed me. His speed and everything, I mean, he flies through the whoops, right?
For sure.
And this is not one of the top teams, so it's, he's really making a name for this team. They've got a good program together, and he's been really impressive so far this season.
Aaron, they talk a lot about James Stewart's personality. Malcolm will light up a room just as quickly as older brother will.
That he will, Ralphie, is full of personality, and right when he was lining up to the start gate, I asked him if he learned anything from the mistakes that he had made during his heat race. He said he learned a very valuable mistake. He said, I need to get a good start, and I need to get one good, solid, clean lap in, especially that first lap, in order to have a chance at taking tonight's main event.
Mad props to this kid because he...
down he goes. Second time he's been on the dirt tonight, but he pops up after losing a couple of spots, and let's see how he rebounds.
Hey, and that has been the story for Malcolm Stewart so far in this East Coast Championship. He's been fast, but how many times has he fallen down?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to push the limits of those tires, right?
Yeah, but I was going to say earlier, I give him a lot of props because he didn't grow up racing ever since he was 3 years old like his older brother did, so he's doing very good.
No longer a battle for the lead, is now a battle for second. Barcia has lost contact with Baggett, and he has slipped back into the clutches of Sykes, and Ryan is closing in fast. The 25, there you see him go blazing by, is pushing hard now as they fight over second place between the Honda rider and 17 in the red and white riding gear, or white and red, I should say, and Sykes on the blue bike in the orange and black.
Well, and this is the point, right, Ricky, where if you're stalking a guy and you feel that you can try new lines, even if they're not as good, you can try it and you still stay with the guy, then you're like, okay, you know that you got him. Now, as the race progresses and the track deteriorates, you just have to find those new lines. Either wait for him to make a mistake or wait for a new line to develop and take the spot.
Could this be a sign that Barcia's wrist is starting to affect him? We're only 6 laps in, but really that 6 laps on a normal Supercross track, Ricky, would be closer to 10.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Ralph, because you could see how fast he was going at the beginning of the race. He had a great heat race. Maybe it's starting to be a problem now as more laps get under his belt. The soreness is starting to wear in. He did get the ride over the week. That stuff adds, and then you got Ryan Sykes. He's still in there in points too. He wants to get in there and show some muscle.
Well, and as they come through the finish line area right there, last lap around, Barcia turned to 120. Our leader, Baggett, last time around was a 118.8. Boy, Barcia 119 and Sykes 119, so they kind of picked it up from the lap before. And that's lap 6 of 15 now in the books. Okay, we're going to see what that last lap is like for these guys, because this track is really starting to go away.
Barcia, the points leader coming into the night. Baggett, right now, the way they're running on the track, would be 4 points behind him in second. Wilson and Sipes and Wharton round out the top 5 in the points.
And that 42 of Izzi, he's actually running an 18th. He's a lap down after that fall that he had just a few laps ago.
There's Wilson. We talked about him being third in the points. Having a bit of a rough night tonight. Wilson with the main event win earlier this season, but struggling here in Daytona.
Yeah, definitely not having the night, but let's take a look back at his start right here. See, he gets gates pretty good, but that choice to be in the middle of the line, middle of the start just did not work for him.
Oh, then he had that real close call, Ricky.
Ooh, I don't like to see that. And then you can see right here, he's going around that rut, front tire gets out over the rut and just loses the front end.
Then he's working with his brake.
Clutch
He's having
lever's up,
issues
yeah.
with the clutch lever, I should say.
Oh no, his clutch lever got messed up.
And he might have fallen down again, or that could have been from that left-handed fall in that 180 that it was still sticking up. The bottom line is it really is not working for him.
You know, that starting position that he was in, the gate choice he took, I think he's really feeling the effects of this. That wasn't, that wasn't good.
He's in 12th right now.
Yeah, because I would have wanted to be all the way to the inside. You've seen, these riders get a chance to watch the other heat races, the last chance qualifiers, the Supercross class, and everybody. I would have really been studying how this first turn was working out. But right now, he's trying to make another move. That's Futrell.
His teammate, however, having a great night on his Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, riding for Mitch Payton's squad. Leading here tonight is Blake Baggett, working his way through those incredibly deep ruts. Ricky designed this track. Mark Barnett is the one who actually shoved the dirt around.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how great Mark Barnett was. The guy is a legend, multi-time motocross champion, and Blake Baggett is putting it down tonight. There is no doubt about it.
How about Barcia? He has now
Barcia staying with
separated
him.
himself from Sipes. Look at that. He has opened up a big gap again.
Wow, that's weird. Sipes has lost a lot of time.
Yep, Sipes is falling back into the clutches of the old 21 here. That is Blake Wharton, who is teammates with Barcia.
Well, I'll tell you how he did it. Sipes 2 laps ago was at a 120. This last lap around was a 129. So he lost 9 seconds that lap. Obviously, he fell, went off the track. It's easy to do in a main event like this here tonight.
Anything can happen here at Daytona. I mean, see how rough it is now. Wait till about 10 more laps from now.
We were talking about, you guys used the word that this track was going to disintegrate over the course of the night. Normally, when you talk about a racetrack disintegrating, that would be a very bad thing. But in Supercross, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not always a great thing, but it makes it a more interesting thing.
Yeah, it does, and sometimes it makes the track better as it changes, and you can find different lines. And as you can see, these guys, this track changes way more every lap than a regular Supercross track does because of the sand and the berms and the ruts are digging so deep.
And I'll tell you what's going to change. It's going to be tonight. The points are going to switch up. Yep. They finish this thing up. We're just a little past halfway.
That would be just like this, as we were saying before. Barcia would have a 4-point lead over Baggett. Wilson will sit back in third. Of course, Wilson will decide how many points behind he is by how many spots he can gain here with 6 to go. Of course, this race used to be done in the daytime, too.
Yeah,
Much different event, the heat of the day.
Yeah, and sometimes it would rain, sometimes it would be hot, sometimes it would be cold. Tell you what, though, it's difficult here tonight. They have all the, the artificial lighting and stuff, but these dark areas of the track where that black sand is, it's really tough to see the lines, no matter how much you can see. I mean, there's a lot of lights here. They do a great job with that, but it's just the nature of the soil that just makes it tough to see.
Matt Lemoyne having a good run, holding down 5th position right now on bike number 48.
That'd be a solid ride for him, get him a nice little top 5, maybe even better. I mean, he's putting the pressure on Wharton here. He can stay strong for a couple more laps, might pick off another spot, get that 4th position.
Definitely hot on the Moto Extreme Kawasaki. Give Wharton the pressure. Tell you, Wharton at Atlanta, he was so close to knocking off that win. felt pretty good here about tonight. He's put in a solid ride. He's been mistake-free. We're going to see just how smart these riders can be as they weave their way not only through the ruts and bumps and moguls of this track, but through the lappers also.
You can see Blake Wharton. I think he's, I think he might be running a little low on steam right now. He's starting to sit down a lot, labor through the turns, and that's typical for Daytona, but not where you want to be with 5 laps to go. As you watch him close, he's hanging over the front.
Wilson starting to move his way up a little bit, trying to bust into the top 10. He's caught Vincent on the 245.
Wow, did you see him execute the left-hander and stay out of that rut?
There's another spot, another point or two.
If I was Dean Wilson.
Wow, he comes over.
Wow, man, foot off the pegs. Wow, Wilson having a wild run now, Aaron. He is now up to 10.
He is for sure a wild ride, and when I spoke with him during track walk this morning, he said he is very excited about racing this track tonight, considering it's more of an outdoor track. He said it suits his style much more than the regular Supercross because he's able to stand up a lot more, which means he's able to manual the bike a little bit better. He's able to wheelie through things that sometimes he typically wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, she's exactly right. You know, with those long legs, he can transfer the weight front and back, but I kind of disagree that maybe it suits his style more because we've seen this rider ride Supercross, and he's exceptional. At this age, he's really got some skill.
Bro, here's another couple of points right here as he gets around Smith on the 44. That'll put him up to 9th.
Well, but see, look at him ride that inside. Once again, this track is alive.
It is.
It's moving.
And don't forget, big bike still to go. The Supercross class waiting in the wings. They're already in the gate area.
Yeah, and wasn't that always the case, Ricky, as we'd be on the line, lining up, kind of digging our line out, trying to get the starting gate, and then you're watching the main event, and you're watching how much slower they're going at the end of the main as opposed to the beginning of the main, and trying to see the lines that are, you know, parts of the track that you can see by the starting line, and you're just thinking, uh-oh.
I watched a replay of 2000. It was my first win here in the Premier class, and I was coasting like the last 2 laps. I had a little bit of a cushion. I was like, I can't believe I was going that slow.
Well, one rider that has not been slow here tonight has been the 57 of Blake Baggett. Young rider out of California. This is just what he needs, and he will put himself smack dab in the middle of this title chase.
After a hard race at Daytona, how much longer did it take you to recover to get ready for the next week as opposed to a regular round of Supercross?
Oh, it really take it out of you for sure. You know, you get up Sunday, but I always feel it like Mondays and Tuesdays where normally you'd bounce right back. You can just feel it just a little bit. I mean, this sport is probably one of the toughest sports physically, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and I think that back in our day, as opposed to what Baggett could be feeling right here tonight, is, you know, temperature's pretty cool right now. I remember having some really hot days here when you're dehydrated, your eyes are sunk back in your head, your muscles are, you know, starting to seize up on you. The night after the race, you know that you need to eat, but you just can't quite muster up the energy.
You know, though, either way, day or night, this track is still tough.
And it's got challenges here in the nighttime, which I know it's hard to see when we're looking at Baggett right here because he's just executing perfect lap. Look at that, just rolls through the turn, gets on the gas. Look at that, just perfect, having a lot of fun out there. And these races, you know, he's 3 laps to go. He's on his way to win. But
Wilson now gets around Lemoyne. Lemoyne has dropped back.
Wow.
That's going to be for 8th. So we had Lemoyne having a really good run. He was up in the top 5, and now all of a sudden he's barely hanging on to the top 10. And my guess is that's the wear and tear of this longer race for him, taking its toll on his body.
Well, no doubt about it. What I was going to say about Baggett as opposed to the 15 here of Wilson is that's a hard race for Wilson. For Baggett to go win here tonight, he's gonna say to himself, wow, that was easy.
Yep.
Right?
And it is
it's
easy
to
for
win
him right now.
It's hard to not win.
And right now, he's putting in solid laps. He's got a good judge on where Barcia is behind him. He's like Barcia maybe 10 seconds back, and he's marking him. So he's just riding hard enough, probably, to maintain that gap. If he puts in a good lap, pulls away a little more.
Yeah, and you see how you've got these 180s right here. So as Wharton was going down one way, when you get a chance, like over a jump or something, you'll take a little look out the corner of your eye, and you know, he's going to be able to see Barcia in that white and red gear. He'll stand out like a beacon out there, and he'll know exactly where he's at and know, you know, if he's keeping the pace. And right now, Baggett is 11.6 seconds in front of Barcia.
Here comes Sipes. He's leveled off. He's holding down third.
Solid ride again for Sipes. If you were to talk to him, I would think he would say, all I want to do is win. I'm not about solid races. It's time for me to win. And he's qualified fast a lot of times here.
Yeah, and he's been, he said it earlier, he's been in this class for quite a while. It is time for him to win a race. He's been so close. He's had some bad luck, wrong place at the wrong time, and just never been able, you know, never been able to seal it off. He'll probably get one though.
Baggett's going to get one here in a couple more corners. He's got about half a lap to go. A winner a year ago in Dallas. In Texas Stadium, now he's Cowboy Stadium. Now he's on his way to his first win here in 2011.
And the irony about that race in Dallas is that it was Sipes and I forget the other rider. They got together on the last lap, and it kind of allowed Baggett to slip by and get the win.
Well, they had that big crash in the first corner too.
Yeah,
remember?
but here Baggett has straight dominated the main event. 15 laps of the most grueling Supercross Lites East Coast Championship, and he has just completely shredded everyone out there.
That's so cool, man. Look at, he's having a blast. He's looking around, making sure, dude, do I really got this?
Hey,
this is awesome to watch.
3 races so far in the East Championship, and we're about to have our third different winner. Dean Wilson got a win. Justin Barcia got a win. And now Blake Baggett is on his way after the big triple. Run through this whoop section. Here he comes to the checkered flag. And a winner at Daytona in the Supercross Lites East Championship chase. It's going to be Blake Baggett at Daytona.
Awesome ride. Look at that. He's just, he's going to do him a smoky burnout here.
Yeah, he's going to heat up that rear tire. Meanwhile, here comes Wilson. Now he's trying to get around Malcolm Stewart. This would be for 7th, which would also help him in the points. Let's see what he can do here.
And think about it, the gap back to Wilson is 53 seconds back on the lead. Wow. The race is over for your winner. They're still battling it out.
Yeah. These guys are so back here digging, trying to get to that finish line, the best position possible they can.
And in 7th place, too. That's how big that gap was.
I mean,
looks like Stewart's going to beat him. Anderson's going to get to the line. Wharton, Larson. Here they come in a great run for Malcolm Stewart. He gets 7th. Wilson will be in 8th, so he will end up now 9 points behind Baggett, who is 4 points behind Barcia. It's going to be Barcia, Baggett 4 back, and then Wilson 9 back after that. That's Mitch Payton right there in the wheelchair who runs that team.
201st win for him. Blake's first win here at Daytona. Man, he's got to be pumped. Good for him. He earned. I mean, that guy was picture perfect. You don't execute any better than that.
That was sick.
Big celebration for the pro circuit, guys. We'll be right back to Daytona to talk to our winner after these words here on Speed.
The extreme excitement of AMA Supercross returns to the...
Standing right on the pavement of the tri-oval. That's right below the start-finish line flag stand. What a great spot to watch these guys battling it out here tonight in the Daytona Supercross by Honda. Here are the official results out of our Supercross Lites East main event. 3 races, 3 different winners, Ricky.
That's what's so cool about this sport, and it has really been a fantastic year. I got to give it up to Blake Baggett. I mean, he rode so good. Even last weekend, he rode good, and this is the finish he deserved right here, no doubt.
Well, let's meet the winner. Standing by on the podium there with Aaron Bates.
Blake Baggett, when he came up here, he said after taking a big crash on Monday, not in his wildest dreams did he expect the win here tonight in Daytona. But Blake, what a dominating performance you had out there. And coming from, let's take a look, you had the inside start at that. How challenging was tonight, and what does it mean to take this win here in Daytona of all places?
Definitely, it means a lot. But on the start, I just went to gate 1, and it was do or die right there. I had to either get the whole shot or I was going to get pinched. And got the whole shot, and yeah, to win here is crazy. You know, the track's super rough and gnarly, and I had to crash Monday, so I didn't ride. I only rode Thursday a little bit, and you know, it's Daytona, man, and I won it by a pretty good amount. It's sick.
I think you're pretty much speechless at this point. Congratulations on all your success tonight.
It's very cool to be a Daytona winner, and Blake Baggett is now one. Here's a look at the championship chase, which everybody is battling for, which will be settled at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas the first weekend of May. And of course, Speed will be there live. We'll settle the Supercross class, the Supercross Lites West, and the Supercross Lites East Championship, and then we'll run